Okay, so I'm talking with Christina Olton tonight on Zoom, and we're here because we want to have a conversation um, about something we've been working on together with respect to youth ministry. Um, we've been doing some dreaming, myself, Jordan Litkey, Christina, and Brittany, about what would it take for us as a church to have a mentored model, a mentorship model of youth ministry at VCRC? So we're just going to highlight our vision tonight and what God is leading us to. But most people who will be watching this know who I am because I get up front and talk a lot, and I share probably too much about myself sometimes. But maybe people are wondering who this other person is, Christina. So maybe Christina, can you give us just a little window into your life and who you
Sure.
are? Yeah.
Okay. So I am a military spouse. Josh and I have been married for 9.5 years. We have two boys, Oliver and Theodore. We moved to BC 6 years ago now. And for the first bit, we went to Our Lady Queen of Peace Parish because my husband is Catholic. And then a couple of years ago, I think it's when Thea was just about 1, we started coming to VCRC because there was more children's programs available. And since then, I have been helping out in the nursery because I had children in the nursery, leading the family prayer, and I also lead the women's coffee break.
Yeah. And where'd you guys move from again? What area of the country?
We came from Ontario.
Okay.
We were living in Brantford, Ontario whenever we moved, but we're both from Pembroke, Petawawa, which is an hour and a half northwest of Ottawa.
Gotcha. Yeah, and it's been just such a delight to have both you guys and your two kids in our church. And also awesome just to see you finding your spot, with these various ministries. And I've definitely really appreciated your prayers, and so thank you.
You're welcome. I would like to say that I take a lot of what I say for the prayers from the Bible. It's not all me writing that.
That's great. Yeah. So one of the reasons you're on this call is it was just around the time that Ashley was leaving, I think, maybe a little bit after, you wrote an article for the Christian Courier. Oh, you also do some freelancing. That's sort of another
Yes,
on
I
top
do.
of mothering and helping out at church. But you wrote an article for the Christian Courier in which you highlighted some different youth groups in Canada that had adopted a mentorship model of youth group. And we were excited to read that, and we shared it. I shared it to the elders, and it kickstarted this dialogue between Brittany and I and a few other people that eventually led to us contacting you. But maybe tell us what got you interested in writing that article, and what were some of the things that you found?
Okay, so I ended up writing that article because last year, Megan, she had the ability, she was given the position of editor at Christian Courier, while Angela, there we go,
Yeah, just say
was
Angela. Yeah.
gone for a bit. And one of the things that they asked her as editor, if she could bring some West Coast writers with her. And since I do write, she's like, Christina, can you come write some articles for me? I need people to fill up my pages. And so the issue that I was going to be writing for was going to be distributed at some Christian Reformed event thing. I don't remember exactly what it was. And so she handed me the agenda and said, pick something relevant to this. And so I looked at that, and there's a lot of stuff going on about youth groups and like retaining youth. And I tend to find that news organizations trend towards the negative. But one of the things that I really struggle with is that there is so much positive out there. And I was like, there has to be youth programs that are thriving. Like there has to be. And so Megan and I ran with this idea, and I contacted the Christian Reformed's youth ministry catalyzer, and told him that I was writing an article about thriving teen programs, and I needed to know some teen programs that were thriving. And so he sent me a list of different churches across the country that fit like what we had determined to be thriving. And the churches that I spoke to, they were all they all used a mentorship model. And the idea of a mentorship model, like as I was listening to it, like it kind of like rang true. One of the pastors I spoke to was talking about how a lot of youth programs that fail, they fail because they're trying to attract teens to their program by entertaining them. But he said, like, you can't out entertain the world. Like that is just straight up not possible. But what you can do is you can provide relationship for these guys. Like you can help them feel connected and build community. And then I actually spoke to a whole room full of teenagers. There was probably 20 teenagers in this room whenever I was speaking to them. And one of the things that really struck me about whenever I was chatting with them was I asked them what they liked about their program. And they like all said that they really, really, really loved the mentorship program. And they just like gushed about this mentorship program and like having an adult there who was just going to listen to them, to talk to them, and just like go out for like coffee or tea with them. And they just absolutely loved it. And then I asked them, like, what else do you like about this program? And there was just dead silence. Like they all just kind of like stared at me. And I was like, and I waited, and then they eventually like started like bubbling up like some more ideas, and you're just like, look at those haphazard, well, there's also this, and like that's kind of cool. But the thing that they loved the most, like the thing that they just wanted to talk about, was this mentorship program and like how fabulous it was.
Yeah. So it was a journey of, I want to write a positive article about youth groups that are going well. And then basically you discovered a few that were following this mentorship model. And then cool to hear it, like actual, not just the leaders of it, but the actual participants. This isn't one of the questions necessarily I sent you, but is what defines a mentorship model of ministry? What's the core of that?
Well, I guess so speaking from my own experience, because after I wrote this article, and not actually until Brittany approached me about helping us come to our church. After you guys approached me with that, I like went home and I was typing an email to a friend of mine that from whenever I was a teen. And as I was like typing to her, I was like, oh my goodness, like I actually went through a mentorship model whenever I was growing up. And we didn't just, it didn't have like an official name, but after church, we would go to a cafe, drink really crappy smoothies, and talk about like the Bible and like what happened in the sermon and just like our lives. And that's kind of what a mentorship model is. Like it's just adults in our church taking an interest in teens' lives. Like my mentor, she taught me how to drive standard, and she taught me how to like pump gas, because she figured these were skills that everybody should know, and nobody taught them to her. And so she wanted to be able to impart that knowledge to someone else. And so we did that. We did life together. And so that's what mentorship model is. It's doing life with the teens. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So it's a connecting teens with older folks or older people in the congregation to do life on life relationship and connection, whether that's talking about the sermon or a Bible passage, or doing something like, hey, have you ever pumped gas before? Would you like to learn? And here's my standard car. Let's go for a drive.
Yeah, that was the first car I ever drove. She's a very brave woman.
Yeah, I've got some standard stories. Yeah, I won't go into that. So, and that brings us, I guess, right to today, and some of the conversations that Brittany has been having with you, and we've been having with Jordan as well, about what would it take for us to develop something of this nature, a mentorship model of ministry at our church. And I guess, we've been without Ashley for a while, and essentially for about a year, we haven't had anything officially functioning. So there's that sadness there, uh, because it's hard to know exactly what we should do. Um, so we've been talking about, what would it take? And anyway, what do you want to share about the conversations we've had so far? Like what's our what's been our vision in this so far?
Well, I think one of the main things to remember is that the mentorship model, it's an investment in our church. Like, it will take the community working together, and it's a continuation of like the promises that we made whenever like babies are baptized. Like, we promise to educate them, we promise to walk alongside them, we promise to help them in their faith walk. And
Mm-hmm.
so mentorship model is like, it's a continuation of that. And it's the idea that we've been having is that the teams will all be paired off like with a mentor, like hopefully one-on-one, to just live life together. How you can, like, they can come to you as like an adult outside their family whenever they need adult advice and they just don't want to go to their parents. So that, but there's also the idea that these like mentor and mentees will come together in small groups to do Bible studies, because learning about scripture shouldn't happen in just like one, like isolation only. Like, you need to have a community for that, for the message and the truth to fully and like truly be discovered. And so there'll be, and so this program that we're thinking is going to be for just high schoolers from 9 to 12. So the mentors who are dealing with the nines this year will have like, it will be like a 4-year commitment, because you'll be walking alongside them for their whole high school career. And if my mentor and the mentors that I spoke to have anything to say about, they will let you know that it does not just end after 4 years, that you will continue to care about these teens that you've been caring about probably for the rest of their lives.
Yeah, right. Like, the idea is this when you build a relationship, then you start to enjoy each other, and hopefully that carries on. And when you said 9 to 12, you're meaning grade 9 to 12.
Yes.
Yeah, not age 9 to 12. Yeah. So there's kind of that two-prong or two key pieces that we've been talking about. One is the mentorship connection, and then one is some sort of Bible study. So having a group gathering of sorts to do some Bible study, with maybe 1 or 2 mentors present, or maybe as many mentors as can be possible present for that. And we're hoping to get that off the ground at our church, or give that a try and see if it could work. Speaking personally, one of the things that gets me excited about this, it's a tough sell to say, hey, would you like to run the youth group? To just give that to one person, you feel overwhelmed with like everything, and coordinating and creating ideas, and it's got to be fun. It's got to be better than other places, and we can never really find anyone who's going to do that just as a volunteer. But relationships are a little different, and I personally, just the idea of creating a youth program with like fun games and huge events is something that just does not make me excited at all. I am just not interested in that. And when I was a teen, I wasn't interested in that either. So maybe that's some of my own background. But I love the idea of going out for a hike with like a grade 10 or a grade 11 or grade 12, or even 2 of them, and say, hey, like, tell me about what life is like for you right now. How can I pray for you? And to do that on a month, like just once a month, to go out for a hike, or go bike riding, or go out for coffee, that just fills me with such like, it's, well, such joy. But it's also less of that burden of leadership is less, right? Because it's like, I'm just talking to this person. Like, that's not scary. Just talking to someone and going out for coffee. So we're hoping that it's not just me that is like that, but there are other people that are like, I don't want to lead a youth group, but man, I would be certainly happy to connect with someone once a month, for a few years. That's a different sort of thing.
And it's nice because like not only is it just like the one-on-one like once a month type thing, but as the mentors, like we're not, you as a mentor are not alone. Like it's not like we're gonna match mentors off and then be like, okay, you guys go figure this
Right.
out. Like we will be walking alongside them. You will be part of a team.
Yeah. So we hope to do some equipping of mentors in the midst of that, and as well as just doing a little bit of training to get that started. Especially like I'm thinking some of the concerns might be like some of the safe church concerns, making sure that we're doing everything correctly there. But also, yeah, what to do while you're with your the person who's in a teenager. Well, I guess that will be up to the people in some respect, but to give them some equipping, some ideas, we hope to do that too.
Mm-hmm.
So where are we at right now in the process? And how can VCRC step in to help?
Well, Dave, myself, Pastor Brittany, and Jordan Litkey have taken the month of July to pray over the program and hammer out some of the nitty-gritty things that are going on. And then over the month of August, while our pastors are on vacation, have fun with that, we are trying to assemble the rest of our team. So if you are interested in being a mentor, feel free to contact me or Jordan, and we can give you guys more information as to like what it's going to involve, what it's going to look like, what you can do, and then Jordan and I are also going to be contacting the teams in the church to like get some of their input as to like what they would like to do in a mentorship program, like what they want out of it, so that we can pass it on to the mentors to be like, this is kind of what they're looking for.
Right. Yeah. So we're in recruitment phase, basically.
Yes, we are.
We're looking for, and we're still actively praying for that. And hopefully by September, I mean, obviously there's not very much that is steady in the world right now. But hopefully there'll be a way that we can have something going, provided COVID-19 stays relatively dormant, at least on our island.
Yeah.
Anything to add?
I don't think so.
Okay. Yeah, I don't have
I'm
anything.
very excited about it.
Yeah, and I just, I back to that hiking in the woods with somebody. I just love it, and I'm excited for that, and yeah, I look forward to being involved. So please contact Christina if this is exciting to you as well, and we'd like to put a little team together.
I am very available. I work from home, so
Good. Yeah. Well, great to talk with you, Christina, and
I'm really to see you.
Yeah, also very thankful for your research and your heart for this.
Thank you.
Okay. All right.